Okay, Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi taala wabarakatuh. We are from Group 3 or Group H. We'll be presenting on role and function of leadership. Okay, our team consists of 5 members. Me, myself, Hanisa binti Fauzi. Secondly is Yong Yit Hyong. Okay, Nurul Nadia binti Fauzi. Nadia. Fahruddin Mustafa Bakri. And then lastly is Mayu. Okay. This is the content of our presentation. Firstly, we will talk about related theory to leadership, which is functional leadership theory and model. After that, we will elaborate on the role and function of leadership from different scholars. It can be divided into 3. Firstly is situation for leadership function, where it will focusing more on leadership function for change. Secondly is team leadership function from the perspective of transition phase leadership function, and then thirdly is action phase leadership function. Okay, next. As we all know, our first class prof has taught us about the definition of leadership. In short, we can say that leadership is a process whereby an individual influences a group individuals to achieve a common goal, and it transforms potential into reality. In the process of transforming the potential of subordinate, a leader is required to carry out many roles and functions of leadership. But what is the differences between the role and function? In bahasa, actually, role is peranan, whereas the function is fungsi. Okay, role and function are 2 words that can be used as sometimes as synonymous. However, there is a subtle difference between role and function. The main differences between the role and function is that the role is a part played by someone in a particular situation, whereas the functions refer to the natural purpose of something or the duty of a person. Example of role is a teacher play the role of facilitator, mediator, organizer, etc., etc. Whereas the function for, example for function is that a teacher's function include organizing a lesson, teaching the student, etc. In our presentation, we can say that the role and function of leadership is synonymous. And then, okay, for the next presentation, we will focusing more on role and function of leadership. Next presenter is Nadia. Nadia.
Right, thank you, Anis. Now I'm going to proceed to functional leadership theory and models. Okay, for theory of functional leadership is a theory that identifies behavior by leaders that the theory suggests that being adequately handled for group needs. The core of the theory is that the leader most important task is to ensure that everything the group needs is provided. That means a leader is successful when their leadership and also at their tasks when they successfully contribute to the group efficacy and also cohesion or unity of the team. And this theory is closely connected to the functional leadership model, where scholar designed this model by expanding the basis of this theory. In functional leadership models, leadership is not fully dependent on any one person groups, and among there and also 5 leadership practices by Cousins and Posner. So next one, we're going to discuss on the functional leadership model. Next. Okay, so for the models, next slide. Okay, so now for functional leadership model, it focuses on the action areas that a leader must address to be effective. The functional model encourages a leader to think about what they need to do to be successful in their role, simply focusing on the function that every leader must address. As we can see here, John Adair's model has 3 connecting circles that overlap, as you can see in the diagram here. Each circle represents the aspect of leadership function, which are achieving the task, building and also maintaining the team, and also developing the individual within the team. Ada developed this model overlap because the task can only be performed by the team, not by one person. The team can only achieve excellent task performance if all the individuals are fully developed, and also the individual needs to task the challenge and be motivated. According to Adair, the above 3 aspects of leadership can only be successfully fulfilled when the leader sticks to the following 8 key functions, as you can see at the right side. The first one is defining the task. Both the individual employees and also the team should be clear what are the tasks and goals they are working on, and what time span that the tasks must be completed. The second one is planning, is by looking at alternative way to achieve the task and also having contingency plans in case of if there's any problem occur. The third one is briefing the team, is by creating the right team climate, fostering synergy, and also making the most of each individual through by knowing them well. The fourth is controlling what happens. Leaders shouldn't just have control over their own performance and functioning, but also they have to make sure they have good control system, such as effective delegation and also monitoring system. The next one is evaluating the result. It is important that leaders are able to evaluate and can evaluate and also can have access to both the team achievements and also the individual achievement based on this information. Motivating individuals is by using both external motivators such as rewards and incentive, as well as internal motivators for each team players. For organizing people is by organizing self and also others through good time management, personal development, and also delegation. And the last one is the setting an example by the recognition that people observe their leaders and copy what they do. Okay, for the next one, we're going to discuss the second model, which is the 5 leadership practices. The next slide. Okay, the second model that we're going to discuss is 5 leadership practices by James Cousins and Barry Posner. They created this model after researching people's personal experiences of excellent leadership. From this, they claim that good leadership is an understandable and universal process. This model involves 5 practices, and within each of those, there are 2 key behaviors. The first one is model the way. Model the way is about leader leading by example. The key is to define the shared behavioral standards and also the norms, and then exemplify them. The 2 key behavior here is to find your choice by clarifying your personal values and set example by aligning action with shared values. The second one is inspire a shared vision. That suggests leaders should begin work on their vision before enlisting others to refine and make it theirs. It emphasizes the use of powerful language to capture the vision in a way that inspires others. The 2 key behavior in this key is envision the future by imagining exciting and possibilities, and also enlist others in common vision by appealing to shared aspiration. The third one is challenge the process. It explains the importance of being an agent for change, creating opportunities as well as taking risks and also learning from mistakes. The 2 key behavior here is to search for opportunities by seeking innovative way to change, grow and improve, and experiment, and also to take risks by constantly generating small wins and also learning from mistakes. The fourth one is enable others to act, which is encourage building a spirit of trust, sharing of information, and also collaboration. Two key behavior here is foster collaboration by promising cooperative goals and building trust, and also strengthen others by sharing power and discretion, which is freedom to decide. And the last one is encourage the heart, which is essentially about praise and celebration. The key behavior here is to recognize contribution by showing appreciation for individual excellence, and also celebrate the value and also the victories by creating a spirit of community. So now I shall pass to Yong for further presentation.
Now, I will discuss on the situations for leadership functions. There are two situations for leadership functions. Firstly, in normal operations, and later in change. In normal operations, the effective styles of leadership vary according to situations. The behavior that promote two key tasks for leaders in creating a positive working context are: first, showing considerations by enhancing friendship, trust, and respect. Second, initiating structure, such as action plan, communications, and procedures. Whereas for change situations, there are 5 functions of leadership, which will be discussed further. According to Firestone 1996, there are 3 categories that will substitute to these 2 leadership functions, namely subordinate characteristics, task characteristics, and organizational characteristics, which are shown on the slides. Based on Firestone, he said that when one or a few of these characteristics are present in sufficient quantity, the actions of the leader become irrelevant to worker performance. This is because everyone plays their roles actively, knowledgeable, and work professionally and cohesively at work. Next, we move to leadership functions in change situations. Firstly, providing and selling a vision. The leader needs to clarify the organizational goals clearly and working together to meet them. By doing so, the followers will understand what and why they are doing so. Vision must be provided in both conceptual and operational terms so that the followers will understand the purpose and examine the implementations. A leader next needs to specify the major purposes, clarify procedures, and specify the outcome targets. For example, what we can see nowadays, the ongoing COVID-19 pandemic has made the employees to adapt to changes from going to work physically to working from home. In these situations, the leader needs to clarify clearly about the virtual attendance, their expectations, and also their daily work submissions so that the work activities can still run smoothly. Then, the second functions of the leaders for change is obtaining resources. The resources such as money, time, personnel, materials, and facilities, knowledge, and ideas. For money for activities can be obtaining through the budgeting, funds, and grants. And here, time is the most important and precious resources for planning, developing, and learning new procedures and activities. Materials are also important both as a reward to those participating and facilitate people who to do whatever is required. For knowledge and ideas, it's important that the leaders allow the followers to develop innovations and comply to regulations. And the leaders need to create learning opportunities for their followers and engage them in activities. As we know, change often creates uncertainty, stress, and deviation from preferred goals. Therefore, leadership needs to provide encouragement and recognitions, which are the important incentives. Informal acknowledgement is the easiest and effective, such as giving compliments or credit to followers to show appreciation. Next, leaders need to create standard operating procedure (SOP) with authority to standardize rules, procedures, and evaluations to new practices for adapting. Finally, the monitoring process for improvement is to ensure change is on track and anticipate new opportunities and problems according to objective and discussions. Next, I will pass on to Fakhruddin to present.
Thank you, Yong. Next, I will present about leadership function in teams written by Mogensen et al. 2010. So there are two phases in this leadership function in teams, which is transition phase and action phase. I will explain about transition phase leadership function. The first function in transition phase is compose team. Composed team refer to the characteristics and attributes of the individual who make up the team, as well as how those characteristics and attributes are distributed within the team. And then it consists of selecting a cohort of individuals who will be successful in accomplishing the team tasks outlined by organization. So the team leader need to know their members' specialization before distribute the task. Second one is define mission. Defining the team's mission is important for satisfying team needs and directing the team toward goal accomplishment. Therefore, we need to know our mission in the teams so that we can do the work smoothly based on the mission. For example, in COVID-19 situation, to reduce the daily case, every agency need to know the role and function to make sure the daily case can be reduced. The third one is establish expectation and goals. It involves establishing performance expectation and setting team's goals. Setting challenging goals and clear performance expectation is one of the most important leadership functions for facilitating effective team performance. It's more realistic and we can know the challenge faced by the team. Next. After establishing expectation and goals, the next team leadership function is to structure and plan the teamwork. It involves assisting in determining how work will be accomplished, such as method, who will do which aspect of the work, role clarification, and then when the work will done, time schedule of the work. The fifth one is train and develop team. To develop capabilities in the team, the training and development function may involve directly providing targeted training to the team through ongoing coaching or mentoring and etc. The training are needed so that the team members are equipped to perform their assigned tasks. Next is sense making. In general, sense making is the process by which people give meaning to their collective experience. It helps the team understand the significance of specific events and enables the team to effectively cope with their impact. It involves identifying essential environmental events, interpreting these events given the team's performance situation, and communicating this interpretation to the team. And lastly, in the transition funds is providing feedback. By providing feedback, it can enable the team to effectively assess its past and current performance and then adapt as needed to ensure future success. With the feedback, the team can review their performance. So that's all from me. So I will pass to the Ma Yue for the next slide. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, my partner. Hi, Samuel. Let me introduce the action phase leadership functions. During the action phase, important team leadership functions include monitoring the team and its performance environment, managing the boundaries between the team and the broad organizational environment, changing the team to continually improve, becoming involved in performing the team's work, solving problems that the team encounters, acquiring results for the team, encouraging the team to act autonomously, and cultivating a positive social climate within the team. We discussed those functions below. The first is monitor a team. This function refers to examine the team's process, performance, and the external team contact. It includes monitoring and evaluating the team's process towards task completion, the results available to the team's external environment, and team member performance. And these functions entails managing the relationship between the team and the larger organizational contact by communicating and coordinating with the constituents or unites outside of the team. For example, other teams and leaders, senior management, customers, and by buffering the team from external faces and events to integrate the team's work into the rest of the organization. And the third action is challenging team. This team leadership function involves challenging team with regard to their task performance and confronting the team's assumptions, method, and progress in efforts to find the best ways to accomplishing the team's work. The fourth action is perform team task. The leadership function of performing the team task involves taking a more active role in a team's work by participating, intervening, or otherwise performing some of the team's task work. And the next, fifth is solving problems. Teams often confronting complex, definite problems that link a single solution. Numerous scholars have posted that a critical team leadership function is to diagnose and solve any problems that keep teams from realize their potential. And the sixth is provide resource. The next leadership function is to provide resource for the team. This includes obtain and provide information, financial, material, and personal resource for the team. And the seventh is encouraging team self-management. In this function, team is encouraged to manage itself and in many cases to prove its own leadership functions. And the last one is support social climate. The final team leadership function during the action phase is to support the social climate of the team. This support function happens throughout the task cycling when it is particularly important to tend to the team's social environment and to address interpersonal issue with the team that may interfere with the team's performance. Okay, thank you, everyone. I have introduced my part and welcome my partner to summarize what we are talking about today.
As a conclusion, irrespective of how you define a leader, he or she can prove to be a difference maker between success and failure. A good leader has a futuristic vision and know how to turn his idea into the real world success. As John C. Maxwell said, a leader is one who knows the way, goes the way, and shows the way. Okay, I think that's all from our group. And if you have any question, you can ask during the real class on Thursday. That's all. Thank you. Assalamualaikum.